Welcome back. Here we go. Let's get into it. Wednesday, April 2nd. Let's get into the Major League Baseball picks and predictions. We'll run the board. I'll tell you guys my best bets as well as recap yesterday and talk a little bit about what's going on within the major leagues. Okay, so for those of you that are new to the channel, awesome. Love some new faces. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you guys are following along on your TVs, enjoy it. Baseball is back. Get that coffee rolling. And whatever you need to get yourself through the day and into the evening. We do have a lot of day baseball today, which is awesome. A little get out day for a lot of these clubs, and I'm going to talk about some of the best bets that we have going on that I will be giving out. Also, a recap from yesterday, 2-0 on the picks again. However, the sample size is small, but the hits, runs, and RBI market is not being kind to me. A lot of runners left on base with a lot of the plate appearances for Vladdy and James Wood. The handicap was right. The pitching, you look at a game that goes, I think it was 6-3 or something along those lines. It was a plus matchup on both sides of the, in both dugouts, in my opinion. And that's kind of where I lent to the argument I was making, some plus money. All right. So off of a hot day where we have, we're up some units. I'm kind of more of one of those, sometimes I like to kind of pull some back, for all you craps players, you know what I'm talking about. But other times I like to press on, and that's kind of where I led to the pick yesterday within taking just kind of little Washington Blue Jays high scoring game script where we went over with James Wood and Vlad within their hits, runs, and RBIs, falling short. And if we're going to lose a bet, let's lose it that way. I mean, they went 0 for 3, 0 for 4, a lot of runners left on base, a lot of strikeouts, ugly, ugly, ugly. Not the kind of efficiency that you want in the meat of your lineup. Okay, let's just say that. Anyways, other than that, smashed within the handicap within the Cleveland game within the Padres. The reason why is because a lot of people were on that over. I went a little bit off the grid. We went over the team total for the Padres. That was also part of my handicap with Michael King going on the bump for the Padres. 11 Ks, outstanding performance, and that's kind of what I was worried about coming into the game was I trust in this Padres lineup right now. Not so much within Cleveland's back end, as well as not so much within Cleveland's lineup overall. So going against a pitcher like Michael King, I was worried about the guards, and they definitely did not deliver as they failed to score a run in that contest. So 7-0, cashing that over San Diego Padres. Over 4.5. That was a nice, juicy little play there. Also, we got it done again within the Dodgers game. Right to my handicap. I said the Dodgers win a lot of games, 2-1, 3-1. They were due for some regression. It's a sneaky team, but boy, did they cover the run line, and they did again last night. Braves go to 0-7. We'll kind of couple that into our plays today. We have a lot of things to talk about in that regard. And when do the Braves get their first win? Very ugly down there in the ATL. Hearts out for those guys. But let's get into the plays for today as we start the show. Appreciate you guys following along and tuning in. And let's get those comments going, please. Okay. First game, the early game, Rangers Reds. We got Hunter Green going on the bump. And for my money, guys, he is one of my favorite pitchers to watch in the major leagues. Not really getting it done in his first start. No decision, 3.6 ERA. Going against Jack Leiter, okay? And Great American Ballpark, otherwise known as the Great American Launchpad. That's kind of where we're going to look into this for a money line play on the Reds, okay? I'm just going to trust in Hunter Green. I think that when we talk about this Reds team, a little bit flashy. I know the Rangers sneakily a 4-2 record to start off the 2025 campaign. But that's kind of where it lends me to back in the Reds. I think this is something where we got to trust the pitching. I know that Jack Leiter had a great first performance, but give me the Reds here on the money line. Kind of like that one a little bit more so in the full direction of the game. I just don't know. I think Cincy puts up some runs, so you could even possibly look into the Reds team total going over. But I think they get this one done. Total set at 8.5 runs. I just like Cincinnati in this game, and if you do look into the betting trends, the betting splits, it does back me up as the Reds are taking 93% of the money, albeit 56% of the bets there on the public side. So that's kind of where I'm at. Also do like the over, like I said, a little bit of a lean in that early game. And uh, and that'll be the first bet that I give out here on the channel. Next, we do get some Pirates Rays action. This is kind of where you see another interesting matchup between Paul Skeens and Ryan Pepio. Okay, and Full disclosure, I don't like the Pirates lineup. I think this might be one of the tipping points for it all. I don't really see Paul Skeens staying in Pittsburgh all too long. Okay, especially if they're going to get him on a 1-5, team. He didn't have the best first start. They kind of had him on a leash too. I know he got his pitch count up into the 90s, but it's still something where I think he went five in a frame. So it is interesting to talk about. But I don't think that Paul Skeens will underdeliver. I don't trust the Rays lineup, quite frankly, yet. I know they're playing at a minor league ballpark. That goes into the handicap. And if you guys have been following me this whole season, I'm staying away from that unless we're going over with the team with runs, team runs. Rays 4-1, little sneaky little action there as they roll out Ryan Pepio there. Great first start, 8 Ks, 1.5 ERA. I don't know really what you want to do in this game. The total set at 7. I'm going to stay away from it. Like I said, as they play at George Steinbrenner Field, this is not a uh, kind of a constant within my handicapping, so it's going to be just kind of excluded off of the card. But if you guys want in on Skeen's action, obviously strikeouts are live. The Rays getting it done. And it's been something where you kind of look into the whole narrative. The Rays are the fourth best batting average right now in baseball, behind the Orioles, Padres, and Diamondbacks. Okay, so keep that in mind. Kind of interesting. They're ahead of the Yankees there in that regard. So we'll see how that unravels a little deeper into the season. But no play for me, Pirates and Rays, albeit I do like a lot of things in that game. I won't bet it because it's at Steinbrenner Field. Okay, Angels Cardinals. Great start for the Cardinals. Great start for the Angels. 4-1, 3-2, respectively. Kikuchi going against Sonny Gray. This is very hard not to fathom runs in this. Okay, I would look for runs. Busch Stadium. I think that the bats have been live for a lot of these teams. Surprisingly, kind of the surprise story of the season. We have teams such as the Twins. We have teams such as a lot of preseason teams that the Royals would be a prime example. A lot of people betting on the Royals. The Astros 2-3, the Guardians 2-3, the Mets 2-3. The Red Sox 1-4. A lot of people have them come out of the East, um, and obviously the Braves 0-6. But then we have the Angels 4-1 to start off this campaign. A hot start, won't last forever, but this is one where I would lean for, runs at Busch Stadium going over Angels and Cardinals. No official play, probably back the Cardinals, but it's hard at Sonny Gray as he faces the tough decisions. What he's going to do with Medicare and his retirement. It's going to be something very unraveling as he gets goes for his 37th consecutive season as a major league pitcher. Okay, so next one is Pablo Lopez and Sean Burke, Twins White Sox. We do get going on. This is a kind of interesting matchup because I don't quite frankly um, want to get too far into the Twins being 1-4. Okay, and the White Sox have been turning some heads. For all you guys that do bet dogs in baseball, I mean the White Sox plus 158. That's kind of appealing. All right, or even on the run line plus 1.5 minus 111. We're not going to take the White Sox a lot, but the Twins are definitely struggling to hit the baseball. And they do roll out Sean Burke. Had a great first start in. I actually kind of think that this may be a staff day. Just let me correct myself. I'm not, I'm just going to be fully transparent. I'm not too familiar with him. But no, he went 6 innings pitched, 3 hits. So I was right. Zero point 0.5 whip. I think this is something great first quality start. It was against the Angels, so it does give me some pause. But that was a no decision for him. Fanning 6. I could definitely see the White Sox being live in this game as the Twins continue to struggle to hit the baseball. Okay. Next game, Washington and the Blue Jays. Mackenzie Gore going against Easton Lucas. Mackenzie Gore on the bump for the Nats. I think this is something where it could be a hard-fought battle. Nationals are minus 126 favorites on the road. A lot of that is due to of the potential of just a horrible performance for the Blue Jays in terms of pitching, but 4-2 on the season, great start. The bats are live for the Jays. I think the Nationals are struggling to hit the ball a little bit. This game potentially could be a Nationals kind of landslide victory. I think they're due for a little bit of an outbreak, and I just don't quite frankly know what we're going to get with Easton Lucas, but I do like the bats for the Blue Jays. It would have me leaning at the total, but as we see it right now, juiced up at an over 8 price. I'm not going to get involved. That's just too much variance there that we could have within basically a pitcher with no background, and Mackenzie Gore could throw a gem. 13 Ks in his first time out. So this is something where we're going to stay away from this game. Okay. Next game, Cubs and A's. This will be a play for us, okay? This is going to be one where we do take the Oakland Athletics with Jeffrey Springs, okay? Started his major league career out with the Rays, going against Jamison Talion, 12.46 ERA in his first start. Cubs are 4-4. I just think this is something where the A's are kind of a sneaky sharp play. Minus 105 was the number I found. Taking the A's on the money line, a little bit risky too. I'm not a big A's White Sox backer. Last year we had some run back in the Athletics, whatever you want to call them, Sacramento Athletics. If you if you're never going to leave the city of Oakland, you're still going to be a lifer. That's cool too. But I will take the A's in this spot. I think we get a nice performance from Jeffrey Springs. And I just don't quite frankly trust the arm within Jameson Talion on this campaign. Okay. Next best bet we will be with the Tigers and Mariners. Skewball back on the bump going against Luis Castillo. This is going to be a battle, and the Mariners at home always going to be a fan of betting unders in that spot. Skewball 7.2 ERA in his first appearance. I don't think this is something where you look at uh, the pitcher that everybody has penciled in for Cy Young repeat. A lot of people do. I just think this is a bounce back performance for him. For me and my money guys, we are going to back the Detroit first five minus 118. I think Skewball gets it done. I think that all we need is going to be honestly, guys. Two runs for the Tigers. This one cashes. I almost took the Mariners over 1.5. I'm sorry, under 1.5 for the first five. I just don't quite frankly like it in case we get a fluke long ball. You get a walk and a home run, you lose that bet. At least with the first five money line, the option for a push is there. If it is tied 1-1, you still can push. So I'll lay minus 118 money line on the Tigers first five, and we're going to back Skew Ball. It's a very, very cheap price based on, kind of what he was last year. If he was first five last year in a game where there's not going to be a lot of runs potentially, you would have seen this price up into the minus 150s, minus 160s. So give me the Tigers here, minus 118, taking some value on the road at T-Mobile Park. Okay. Next game, San Fran and Houston. We do get Framber Valdez going against Landon Raup. This is something where Valdez has been that bright spot for the Astros. I think that personally we're going to take a very hard look at the Astros. I'm not going to bet it though. I want to see that lineup play a little better. But the Astros 2-3 on the season, really struggling to hit the baseball. Minus 160 is a little bit too much of a price for me. You could look into the Astros not batting in the ninth. That would be how I would approach this game. Also, kind of looked into Framber Valdez. He only had 4 Ks last time out. That's something that I could explore as well. But if I was going to bet this, it would be on the Astros to win and not bat in the ninth. That bet is readily available on DK. Okay. Next, we're going to go back to Old Faithful. We're going to take this Padres lineup when they're hot, okay? And this time, I do think we do get runs. Dylan Cease, he is Jekyll and Hyde in terms of pitching. He has 6.23 ERA in his campaign. The Padres go 6-0, looking to go 7-0 against Ben Lively and the Guardians. All right, I do think Cleveland scratches at least 3 runs across. And as always, guys, the Padres I think are good for 4. So it would kind of lend me to taking the Padres on the money line, but at minus 178, I just don't like it. So we're going to go over 7.5, minus 110 on FanDuel in the Guardians Padres game. I think this one, we have to worry about a 4-3 outcome, but I do think this one gets up a little bit higher. Padres look really good hitting the baseball, and as much as they, scored 7 last night, they left a lot of runners on base early. That could have been a very, very easy, 10 plus performance run wise for the Padres. So give me the over full game, both sides, 7.5, minus 110. Okay. Clay Holmes and Connor Gillespie going for the Marlins Mets. This is something where we look into this minus 200. I'm not going to lay $2 ever on a money line, but the Marlins 4-2. This could be a sneaky little side bet on the Marlins at some plus money. You could even get plus money taking them on the run line plus 1.5. I'm not a big Clay Holmes fan, but I do think the Mets bats are waking up a little bit. And this is something where I just want to stay away from this game. However, I do think that the Marlins are kind of live in some regard. So that's kind of where I would be leaning. Also, you could look into some of the props for the Mets hitters. I think that they do have their way against Connor Gillespie. I just think that also we're going to get some run support from the Marlins. So it's kind of a handicap where there's no edge in this game personally, and the price is out of control. So we're going to stay away from this one. Okay. Red Sox and Orioles. That's the next game on the card. Garrett Crochet going against Zach Eflin. The Red Sox 1-4, like we talked about. I think that this is something where you look into kind of what could happen in this spot. I think the Red Sox do win the game. Zach Eflin had a great first outing, but I don't think that this is something that is going to be withstandable against this Red Sox lineup. I do think that they eventually turn the corner. We all know kind of how Camden Yards can be a launch pad. This is one where you're going to see the total 7.5. I think that's just solely because of Crochet. And you got to kind of have to back the pitcher. So this would be a bet on the Red Sox -112 or no play. Okay, but I'm not going to get involved. That's just kind of where I lean. All right. 3 games left on the card. We'll kind of skip around a little bit and talk about that Diamondbacks Yankees game. Zach Gallen going on a bump against Carlos Rodon. You get some plus money on the Diamondbacks +125. Zach Gallen had a first outing that was not his best. Rodon looked absolutely phenomenal. I do think this one could be one where if they were playing anywhere else but Yankee Stadium, if the torpedo bats weren't in play, I would lean towards the under 8. But this is something where I still want to get on the over, and potentially the potentially the Diamondbacks +125 if I was going to play this game. This is kind of where I'm at. The Diamondbacks looked a little bit better. They are a very, very solid lineup. I think this is kind of where 3-2 coming into this game. The Diamondbacks are live. I don't fully trust Rodon yet, but I do think that we still get some runs. So I would look into that over 8, regardless of the pitchers in this spot if I was going to bet it, but no official play for me. Okay. And the last 2 games, we're going to kind of couple them together. Zach Wheeler going against Kyle Freeland. The Phillies, 3-1 on the season. Wheeler's on the bump. I think this is an almost an auto play for the Phillies. It's not going to be necessarily easy, but -320 on the money line is something that we can't get involved with, and that's kind of where I'm going to parlay on DraftKings. The Phillies not to bat in the ninth. You're going to reduce that -320. You're going to get a very good price, and we're going to couple that with the Dodgers money line -255. Same kind of story. We're going to take the Dodgers not to bat in the ninth as well, and you're going to get some very good value there, taking 2 teams that should win on the money line. Blake Snell going against Bryce Elder for the Braves. I think the Braves go in 7. I think a lot of people in this spot could potentially back the Braves +225. Just kind of law of averages. Eventually, they're going to win a game, and on this kind of turnaround game for them, as they complete this little West Coast trip and horrible kind of start to their 2025 season. They open with the Padres and the Dodgers, and 2 of the hottest teams right now in baseball. It's not looking good. Okay, not looking good. So I just want to kind of make a kind of mitigate my risk a little bit, and I'm going to parlay the Dodgers and Phillies not to bat in the ninth. You can find that bet readily available on DraftKings. Should be around a little bit over plus money, or at least close to that, and that's going to be my final official play. Okay, so that about do it. Those are my best bets for today. Let's keep this ball rolling. If you guys want to know what I'm betting, I will kind of recap that right now for you guys. A little rundown. The first bet will be Detroit. First 5, we're going on the money line -118. Cincinnati -130. Full game money line. We're going to take Phillies, Dodgers, not to bat in the ninth. Parlay. Also, we're going to take Oakland -105 money line, and then Cleveland, San Diego. We're going over 7.5 -110. Best number available on FanDuel. Okay, appreciate you guys. Make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Join us here at TBM Sports, and we'll see you guys all tomorrow. Good luck. Let's cash some tickets. Peace.